In Matthew chapter 6, Jesus describes a new way of praying to his disciples. It's what we typically call our Father. It starts with our Father in heaven, may your name be kept holy. But in verse 10 of Matthew chapter 6, Jesus says, may your kingdom come soon. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The kingdom of God is the overarching, amazing, powerful presence of a God who created everything. Everything belongs to God. He made it all. The universe is in his hands. The world is in his hands. Every life, every human being, every animal, every plant, every flower, everything created by God for his purposes and for his glory. And so he says that there is this will of his that exists in heaven. And it shows up when the presence of God's kingdom shows up. And so where the kingdom comes, all of a sudden, the will of God that is in heaven makes itself manifest right here on earth. If there's a king or a president or anybody who were to show up to your neighborhood, the president would be bringing the Secret Service and all of a sudden the authority, the power of that position, of that person, of the president would be there, and things would be very different. There would be order in the streets, right? And certain things would be shut down, and things would be completely different than the way that they were before. Because wherever there's presence of authority or power, things begin to change. And so Jesus invites us as his followers to pray that his kingdom, and this isn't a president or any king, this is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the creator of the entire universe. And he says, would you invite for my kingdom to come to the place where you are and to make my will, which is invisible in heaven, reality on earth in the visible world that you live in? Would you invite God's kingdom today into your house with your family to do God's invisible purposes in a visible way in your family? Would you invite him to your place of work? Would you invite him to wherever you are and say, God, may your kingdom come. May your will, which I cannot see with my human eyes, which is in the invisible world, but may your will show up right here where I am at. And God invites us to pray that way because God's kingdom is perfection. God's kingdom is wholeness. God's kingdom is surplus. God's kingdom is being healed. It is all of those things and so much more. And he's saying, I want that my heavenly will represented in my kingdom would show up to your place right where you are at. And so he invites us to pray and believe it. So I want to invite you to pray that way as well and believe that God's kingdom can and will show up to where you're at. Where do you need his kingdom presence? Where do you need the power of God, the authority of God, the order of God in your life? Pray that way and see how God will show up and do what only he can do. God bless you today.